After our 69 Firebird's body tub was sprayed with the Standox sprayable polyester and Nathan block sanded the whole thing nice and smooth and crisp and straight, the next step was to actually take the whole thing apart again. Because we paint these cars partially in pieces and then assembled, right? If that makes any sense. What we like to do is paint the fenders and the hood and the deck lid and the doors off the car, and then clear coat all of the jam areas that wouldn't be accessible if the car was assembled. So we hang all of those parts and mask off the back sides so that we don't get the black that we sprayed on the backside all messed up. And prep those and spray them with primers and sealers and get them all clean and ready, and then shoot color over, the majority of the panel, like the doors, for example, get a sprayed color on the outside and the inside. We hang them so that you can get all the way around them. And once all the parts are colored in the red, in this case it's a DuPont Hot Hues Red Hot Meltdown Red, we sprayed clear coat, DuPont Hot Clear, over all of the areas that we would not be able to get to if the car was all assembled. The last thing we had to do to the body before we gave it its final prime and sealer for paint is to fit the flush glass. This car was getting a flush mounted windshield and rear glass from Classic Auto Glass Innovations, and they maintain that you really don't have to do any modifications to the car to install this stuff, but we found that we wanted to extend the front A-pillars a little bit downward to make it look a little bit cleaner, because the original style trim wasn't going to be used in the car once the flush glass was installed. So we test fitted all the glass and everything seemed to look okay. And then the body tub got its final primer and block sand and sealer, and it was all masked off so the subframe didn't get any overspray on it, or the dashboard or anything like that. And Nathan brewed up the appropriate amount of Hot Hues Red Hot Meltdown Red and shot the body tub. After the initial color coats are sprayed, Nathan checks his work with a 3M sun gun, looking for thin spots in the color or any areas he might have missed. The sun gun simulates daylight, which makes it easy to tell if the color laid down smoothly and evenly. After Nathan was satisfied with the red coverage on the outside of the body tub, he remasked the entire car in preparation for spraying clear coat on the jam areas. Now these are the areas like in the door jamb and in the trunk jamb area that once the car is assembled, you wouldn't be able to get paint on those cleanly. With the jam areas all cleared, Nathan brought in the body panels, the fenders, the hood, the deck lid, and any other smaller piece parts that need to turn red. He sprayed more coats of Red Hot Meltdown on each of those individual pieces, and then masked the jam edges on those parts as well, and then sprayed those with clear. But the rest of the outside of the car was left in base coat. With the body tub in red, we're going to start to assemble the car, put the engine in, the core support, do the brakes and all that kind of stuff, and start to get this to be a running car before we put the fenders back on, so that we're not constantly leaning over fenders and possibly damaging those while we put this car back together. The ultimate goal is to get it reassembled, all the body panels realigned, and then the whole car will get a couple of coats of color on the outside to make sure everything is matched properly and it's all good to go, and then the whole car gets cleared. So at this point we're just very relieved to see the car turn red. The color is killer. It looks outstanding, and when you bring it out in the sunlight, it's really, really intense. And all the time we took to make sure all the surface preparation was done properly is paying off. The outside of the car so far looks great, and then the areas that have been cleared, inside the doors, door jambs, bottom side of the deck lid, all that stuff looks beautiful. It's an indicator of how the rest of the car is going to look. So once this thing's all assembled, it'll go to the paint booth where we will shoot, the final color coats and the final clear and give it a little bake. But for us, the next step now is to put some of the mechanicals back together to make this car a running, driving car.